As the Russian invasion of Ukraine continues, we see the heartbreaking pictures and videos of millions of Ukrainians fleeing to neighboring European countries. But what about those trying to reach U.S. borders to be with family or other loved ones? What legal options do they have? It's a scene of loss and devastation. Families and loved ones separate as Ukrainian men stay to fight for their country.
We have populations that have been displaced.
On March 4th, the Biden administration gave the green light for temporary protection status to all Ukrainians who are in the U.S. on or before March 1st. TPS grants temporary immigration status to countries that are battling ongoing conflict. And the current status of Ukraine falls into the country designation requirements.
For all Ukrainians that are here in the U.S. already as of March 1st, the day before it was granted, we'll be able to get TPS for 18 months.
But what about refugees who might have made it to European countries, but not the States before the TPS deadline? Randall Cottle, a Montana immigration attorney, says there are some options. One of them, a visitor's visa.
These are exceptional circumstances, exceptional times, so it's at least worth a shot to apply for a visitor's visa.
Historically, a visitor's visa is hard to get because you have to prove to the U.S. government that you will return to your home country. But in dire times come dire needs. Make it to a U.S. embassy and there's a shot.
Consular personnel at the U.S. Embassy is being very liberal at granting visitor visas to come to the U.S., knowing full well that if Russia overtakes the Ukraine, these people are not going to go back to the Ukraine in the future.
As the world watches the conflict unfold, for refugees, fleeing their home country is no easy task, even as the cries of war surrounds you.
There's so much uncertainty. They don't know where their new home will be, when they will have a new home, when they might be reconnected with loved ones, if ever.
If you think back to August, Missoula welcomed Afghan refugees who were in a similar position as Ukrainians are in now. Different circumstances, but both situations call for fleeing citizens. Currently, the United States does not have mass evacuation plans like we saw for Afghan nationals. Iman Fahy with IRC says there's a reason for that.
Part of the reason that so many folks in Afghanistan were in danger is because they helped the United States in our efforts in many, many different ways. Whether it was helping our armed forces, whether it was serving humanitarian organizations, or perhaps they were journalists. But anyhow, we felt, I think, a moral obligation to help them.
In Missoula, Hannah Hislop, MTN News.